So hopefully you guys are ready. My name is Nick. This is Roll Coverage, and it is officially the 2024 press conference breakdown season. We've already got you Dan Morgan. Now we're bringing you Dave Canales, his first one of the year. So buckle up. It's going to be a doozy right here on Roll Coverage.
Hey, I thought it was all over.
Nope. They roll coverage. How we doing?
Good. How are you?
Excellent. I mean, this is something we've been waiting for a while now. And yesterday we had a bunch of meetings, and I can tell guys were just chomping at the bit to get out there and get to work. So, in general, just a great day of work. Just recapturing the work ethic. That's what this time of year is about, especially early in camp. Is getting back to the intensity of what the drills feel like, introducing them to the different team settings that we're doing. And so I thought that part we definitely did well. And then of course, just, having to work through a little bit of the kinks, just a little bit rusty, working together, getting our snaps and doing some things like that. But I'll open it up now for any questions.
Okay, first of all, again, this is Dave Canales' first 2024 press conference breakdown. His first official one as the head coach, really getting into the season, obviously minicamp OTAs, stuff like that. He did press conferences, but I'm calling this one the first official one of the year. So welcome. Dave always does this in all of his press conferences, even going back to Seattle and the Bucks. In fact, the first breakdown we did of him with the Bucks, he came out and immediately started into what seemed like a predetermined speech, but obviously we know that they have PR departments. They have a lot of people behind the scenes trying to make sure that Dave not only stays on topic, doesn't give away too much of the game plan, and still really helps the reporters and everybody in the reporting community around the team. I've always said it kind of seems weird to do it that way. I think just taking questions is the best way instead of giving a prepared company man speech, as some other people have called it, players in fact. But he's the head coach now, so this is the way he wants to run it. Just kind of disregard that beginning, in my opinion. Let's hear how he responds to them. Obviously, these are going to be pretty predetermined as well. But he's Dave, man. Oh, one of the things we also need to watch out for, okay? If you haven't watched my Who is Dave Canales 9-part miniseries, make sure you do. Link is always in the description. But does Dave have his severe cotton mouth like normal? Does he bring bubble gum? Does he do any of that stuff? Because every time he does it and he looks like he is licking his lips to save his life, call it out. So let's see if he or any of his people have seen any of my videos. Because if he keeps doing it, I'm going to keep doing it.
We kind of saw the dynamic between Deontay and Bryce on the one play on the out route. Yeah. What have you seen from them just over the offseason and building their chemistry?
I think it's just for Bryce learning this mover. Deontay is a special mover. He's really explosive, really fast through his turns. And so I've watched them just kind of grow that chemistry, and of course, just, getting out here today is another step in building that. And really just a curiosity. You see them just when Bryce's reps are done, he walks right over to, he's talking to Deontay, to Adam, and just making sure they're on the same page for some of those things.
Last year, Adam caught a lot of passes. Yeah. Within 3-4 yards of the line of scrimmage. Is that something you'd like to see him expand, just so teams are game planning for that?
Yeah, there'll be a mix of different things, and I think his skill set, he showed kind of, over the past years, he showed an ability to win outside and win inside. So we're really counting on that from him. He gives us a lot of flexibility with what we can do, especially in our situational passes, So it'll be a mix of stuff.
The one thing I cannot stand seeing, I'm going to make sure you get the clip right now. Stop putting Adam Thielen on out routes, go routes, whatever the hell you want to call it. Stop making his old ass run down the field. That's all I got to say.
When healthy, ideally, what would you like the rotation of running back to look like?
I don't want to really share that part of it. I want to see them all. I want to see them all work hard. I want to see them run the runs the way they're supposed to be. How they're blocked, the tempo, the different things. So we'll expose them all, especially as we go through this first 8 practices. Really is when we get through our full install. So I'm really excited to see the different guys and how they really come to life in the different run styles.
I personally see the running back room ending up as running back 1 for this year is Miles Sanders, 2 is Hubbard. Once Brooks gets back and it gets his legs under him, he will become running back 2, and it'll be Sanders versus Brooks. Sanders is obviously locked up for a few years. We would have to repay Chuba. I think it's the end of this year. So it's going to be an interesting one. I don't think Chuba remains on this roster into 2025 unless it's as trade bait, essentially. So, again, unless he can somehow beat out Sanders, which he absolutely has the ability to. So it's going to be very interesting.
Establish that identity in the running game early.
Huge, right? So today, just right to the fundamentals, right to the basics and the core of our run game, making sure we're running at the right looks, making sure that everyone's tied in from the wide receivers all the way through the offensive line, and of course the backs are in that mix, and on the other side as well, on the defensive side, is watching our defense really be able to stop the run with that core 7, and then our safeties get involved. And so I saw them really eager to fit those runs up today. The defense looked great against a lot of those looks. I think we only might have popped one out of there, and I'm sure they'll get that corrected here.
Dave, when you talk about 2.7 seconds, one Bryce to get the ball out quick, as his coach, his play caller, somebody's working with him a lot.
Whoever's got that horrible screeching sound in the back, may your socks always be a little bit wet.
How do you also, not let him rush his forward on his processing? What else goes into getting the ball out quick?
Yeah, I think you said it, trusting your footwork. And my footwork takes me on time to number 1 in progression. And from there, you got to have a sense where the pocket is going to start to fall apart at some point. And the thing that I love the most, my favorite part about today, is Bryce and Andy finding the check down to the back, finding the short route that takes you. Once I'm off my timing, where's my outlet? And we got a couple of those. Probably you noticed a few of the balls going to the backs and the sideline and some of our options there. So we tell them, don't get hung up on one, move on to your next part of it. Now we're moving to find a check down. So I think we're on the right track there.
That's going to be an interesting one because our Carolina Panthers will probably end up with top 10, top 7 most paid offensive line. So it needs to produce like a top 7 paid offensive line. That's going to be an interesting one. I do like the ability of quick checkdowns. I do think the tight end position really is the bread and butter for that over the running back. But at the same time, guys like Jonathan Brooks, 6 foot, not going to be the best blocker. Chuba Hubbard and Miles Sanders are both not huge domineering running backs. Chuba is the better of the blockers out of them, though, so I do give him massive credit for that. But I think it's going to be a very telling story on how preseason week 1, 2, and 3 looks as opposed to week 1. Are we hiding stuff behind, or is that truly preseason week 1 what the scheme is going to be? Obviously, we're getting a lot of footage out of training camp thanks to people like for Panthers fans only podcast. Make sure you go follow them. For people like Keith, Purr, and Ben, there's a ton of them. Bland has put out a few, and obviously flash all their names here. They deserve it. Make sure you go follow them. They absolutely have a ton of footage and amazing stuff from training camp and everything that's going on. So,
What's going on with DJ Johnson?
DJ just had an illness, so we're trying to just work him back in, being smart about it. So until he feels physically ready to handle the load, we don't want it to mount up on him. We're going to try to get him to a strong point, and then we'll get him out there.
Piggybacking on the tight end position and the checkdowns that you were talking about, I know it's early, I know it's day 1, but given the offseason, the chemistry, the rhythm, and the new guys in rookie camp coming through, how has Bryce and both Andy, when that pocket does break down, started to familiarize themselves and be comfortable with not just looking at a running back, but also at that tight end position? Yeah,
it's great, and I think that's always a challenge. As we build our offense, we really try to feature someone, and for us right now, where's Deontay Johnson at? And we have our progressions, and we're going to move him around in formation, but the rest of the guys have to come alive as the coverages dictate it, and so, but I think it's great in terms of tendencies are okay as long as you have them, because the defense is going to be looking for someone, and that opens up everything else. So I think the patience for the quarterbacks of just going through progressions, finding the next guy, the receivers, the tight ends will come alive after that.
Hey Dave, what was first training camp practice as a head coach? What was today like for you?
Oh, it was great. It's such a challenge for me. I had an amazing opportunity this summer to spend some time with Tony Dungy, who's one of my mentors, talk to Pete Carroll on the phone, and just kind of ask them, what to expect. And I think the part that made me a little anxious is I know that I can't walk into this with 30 years of head coaching experience to be able to see everything, but I want to just continue to challenge myself to see it all. see what's happening, not just on the offensive side. For sure, that's what I'm here to make sure we step out on a good foot, but to see what's happening on the defensive side, how it's all fitting in, spending time with special teams. We had some great periods out there where we're teaching fundamentals, which are going to be critical. So I think more and more, how much can I see on any given play? But I think in general, I was just really excited, really humbled, and really grateful to have this opportunity and to really feel supported by a staff of amazing coaches and by a bunch of players who are hungry to do something this year.
And that's the thing. People need to buy into what Dave is selling. I think that he sells a great product. Obviously, there's a little bit of the God thing in there as well, with given his past and how he does stuff, but that melds perfectly with the Carolinas, melds perfectly with the philosophy of people like Bryce Young. So I love that about him. I think it's able to bring people kind of together, but it's more of when they are together, are they able to execute the scheme that you've given them and stuff like that. Again, I'm holding reservations till the first game of the year, but I'm very, very excited for Dave. Again, if you're not sure or don't remember, picked Dave December 9th, 2023, more than a full month before he was announced as the head coach. I was ahead of a lot of people. I knew Dave had something special in him. I said if he came to my Panthers, I would welcome him with open arms, and I have done that completely. Continue, Dave.
What things Dungy and Pete told you about what it was going to be like for the first time?
Just there's things you're not going to be able to anticipate that may happen and may come from different areas of the program, things that you're going to have to be able to in stride kind of handle and answer, and then get back to the football. Handle it, answer it, get back to the football. So I take the reminder is continue to get back to the football part of it, so that all the other things don't detract from what we're trying to get done.
Kicking competition, what did you tell the guys coming to camp?
Oh, it's cool. I just see a focus and an eagerness for them, and my encouragement, and the thing that is a big part of what I have to do to teach this team is we're not competing against each other. We're not competing against another team. We're competing to find our best on a daily basis. So if we can come with that focus, if every guy, every position group, every offense, defense, special teams, and then as a team, if we're competing to find our best, I think that's when you make the most progress versus looking side to side. Picture the Olympics in a 100-meter dash. You can't look side to side. You're trying to run your fastest, your best race. So trying to create that mentality.
Dave, how important is it for guys like Boodle, Jameson to really make an impression these first week or two before you guys really start to look at other options to add to that group?
It's a great opportunity, right? Just with the depth at corner. These guys are going to get a lot of opportunities to show us what they can do. And they had a great spring. Just looking for them to keep building on that.
What does Xavier Legette bring to this offense? And what's realistic as far as his timeline to maybe get more reps and get more opportunities?
He brings a massive receiver, explosive ability. He can make things happen on short passes. He can stretch the field and go get it. My expectation for Xavier, I'm wide open. I'm wide open to how quickly he can really assimilate himself into this offense and pick it up so that he has just kind of a rhythmic flow for what he's doing. And so I don't have any specific numbers or anything like that. I just want him to get better one day at a time. Same message as we just kind of talked about, and I'm open to whatever that looks like.
He's in such an interesting position, though. Xavier can either become Deebo Samuel, a really good wide receiver, but makes more happen in the run after the catch, makes more stuff happen in the backfield, stuff like that, or he's going to become a more physical wide receiver in like a A.J. Brown. I don't know if either one, A.J. Brown's what, top 5? He's probably 5. Maybe top 10. Top 10 probably. That's solid. But I just don't know if Xavier can get there in the timeline that we need him to. I think that he has so much opportunity, but it's going to take a full season and then some to really get his legs under him. And hopefully that splash in college was not just a splash, but the beginning of a tsunami of talent coming our way. I want us to succeed with him, but we also have other guys, Deontay Johnson, AT, TMJ, Mingo, ISM, and guys that can also get the ball. So I don't think we should really be forcing XL into it. I think he needs to take that spot, not be given.
How have you broken up this camp in terms of, you just shared the first 8 practices to get through install, the timing on what you would like to accomplish over the next few weeks?
Yeah, so the core of our systems, right? Making sure we get those taught. But while we're doing that, we definitely, because, time is of the essence, we definitely as a staff have to hone in on where do our players look most comfortable? Where are they playing the fastest? Those runs, those passes, those coverages, those pressures, those are the things we will become. My message to the teams, we will become us at some point in this camp. They'll feel it. They'll feel the comfort. They'll feel the aggression. They'll feel the attack mindset in the things they're comfortable with. So the teaching part, yes, but also we really got to start to hone in on those things that are going to make us who we are.
Yes, Dave. Hell yes.
Dave, you addressed the fans before practice today. Curious your thoughts and feelings on your first training camp practice, also being the first practice at this new practice field with the fans out here.
Oh, it's great. I mean, I wasn't here to experience Wofford, so for me, I've been kind of spoiled that in Seattle and Tampa, and then here we're hosting training camp right in our facility. And I just think about the advantage of it is for our community as well, to be able to come to be around us, creating those moments for our guys, and even just like at the end of practice, bringing them up for 2 last plays. Guys, can we have that reset mentality regardless of what's happening around us? I love the noise. I love the music. I love the fans being here so that they can just lock in and execute and do their job at the highest level at any part of our practice, because we want to bring finish. But it was really cool. It was really cool to address the fans beforehand, to just see the faces, to see the people that are pulling for us, and just to know that, again, what is it going to be all about? It's just getting our football right, and making sure that we're bringing a product every day where we're improving.
Hey, with this week, not having pads on yet, from trench play, what do you want to see from the offensive line? What do you want to see from the pass rush and the defensive front at these first week of practices?
First and foremost, communication. I want to hear them talking more. I heard some good communication today, but that needs to go up a level every day. So as we get our calls, as formations change, the defensive front has to communicate. The back half is tied into that as well. And then offensively, getting our combinations the way they need to be, getting our protections aligned. Because if we can start off if you can start the play on the same page, you have a chance to leverage the different plays to be successful. So that communication is really what I'm looking for the big guys up front right now.
I'm just curious, what daily evaluation process?
Yeah, so right now what it'll be is the staff's getting together, evaluating the film, making sure that we're correcting our scheme. We bring the players back, and then we'll watch the film together as a group. Then we break up and we start to introduce the next day's install. We walk through it this evening, and then hopefully when we come in the morning, the meetings are shorter, but we're ready to go. The thing we try to sell to our guys is we want to have reviews, not installs. So these are things that we've given the guys to last night to start preparing for the next couple of days. So that's kind of what the evaluation and then of course every evening, the staff just kind of coming together, talking about our roster and just where everybody kind of fits in at on a daily basis.
Thank you, Coach. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
No, Dave, thank you, man. Again, if you haven't checked out my 9-part Dave Canales series, or Who is Dave Canales, where I went into his history, I even bought his book. So Dave is a very interesting guy. I'm super excited for him. Again, thank you, Dave, for just giving us this first press conference and, of course, the first breakdown of the 2024 Carolina Panthers season. Now, where do you feel on the spectrum Dave is when it comes to winning and when it comes to this culture? I think he's far exceeding expectations when it comes to establishing the culture, trying to establish a scheme, a mentality, or whatever word you want to use, or superlative. And I think this guy is able to sell us something, and we're able to buy it in a way that is not only good, but is informative and keeps us rejuvenated. We need a head coach to go up there with that happiness, with that joy in his heart, and really tell us about it. Even though sometimes you're going to suck, sometimes we're going to get smoked, sometimes we're going to smoke some other guys. But at the same time, I'm very excited for the future. I hope you are too. And if you want more press conference breakdowns like this, make sure you subscribe down below. My name is Nick. This has been Roll Coverage. home of the press conference breakdown. Have a great rest of the day. Peace.